So the Democratic resistance to the incoming Trump administration is growing. The Oregon Attorney General is now creating a sanctuary toolkit, as they call it, to help residents refresh their knowledge of the state's relevant laws, specifically those related to sanctuary policies. California's Governor Gavin Newsom is also reportedly considering a, quote, immigrant support plan, he's calling it, to counter those deportations. The program would connect at-risk individuals and their families with community systems such as legal services and schools. Arizona Republican Congresswoman Debbie Lesko says this.
Why would Democrats want to, provide a sanctuary city for illegal immigrants and prioritize illegal over American citizens? I don't get it. But they've been doing this for years. I've been in the state legislature, then in Congress, and they keep prioritizing illegal immigrants over U.S. citizens. It's a real head scratcher. I don't get it.
So far, at least 6 blue cities so far have strengthened their sanctuary laws since Trump's election win. Incoming border czar Tom Homan has a simple warning for all those jurisdictions: get out of the way. But of course, some Democrats are digging in.
We're not going to cooperate. We're not going to ask our police force to serve as ICE agents.
I'm going to do everything that I can to protect our undocumented immigrants. They're residents of our state.
I will fight you every step of the way.
If it's contrary to our values, we will fight to the death.
Would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not.
We are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear.
Texas Republican Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, a member of the Ways and Means and Small Business Committees, joins me now. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me on.
I want to talk about this program 287 because clearly, this is the wave of the future. This should be enacted in every single state. Mass deportations are going to be hard enough, but a lot of those that are being deported are criminals, and they are repeat criminals. So this means that if there is a criminal, an illegal immigrant that's in jail, that illegal immigrant is not going to be re-released into the public so that they can continue to commit crimes. They will be handed over to ICE, even somebody who commits a DUI. It doesn't have to be a violent crime. You commit a crime, you go to ICE, you go back to your country. What is wrong with that? Why would any Democrat want to promote allowing these illegal immigrant criminals to go back onto the streets to reoffend?
And we just saw them, too. We just saw my Democrat colleagues all vote against having people who are here who are getting stopped for things like DUI go back. We just had a vote on that recently in Congress. The question is, why? I can't answer that. I've had experience with this personally when I was mayor, when I was on the city council. I was a big supporter of 287G. We actually created a program in my city of Irving, Texas, where we worked partnership with ICE, with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. When you have your local enforcement, your law enforcement agents, your local police working with federal law enforcement agents, it's the best partnership. Democrats, you've tried it your way. You've seen what's happened. You have seen women who have been, put on fire in your subways. You have seen mobs who have taken over apartment complexes. You have seen murders. You've seen rapes. You've seen beatings of police officers. We've tried it your way. Why don't you try enforcing the law? Why don't you try working with federal law enforcement and protecting your citizens? It works. We had a lot of criticism when I did it in Irving, Texas. And the fact is, what we saw was the lowest crime rates our city has ever had. Yeah. We became the 5th city in the country. And far from people wanting to move, people wanted to move in. And I am all supportive of Tom Homan and working with him. I have sent out a letter to mayors in my district saying, we want to teach you more about this partnership. We want you to have the resources that you need. We're going to be having roundtables. We're probably going to invite Tom to come and see if he wants to address any of our mayors or local law enforcement to tell them how to do it better. This is what Republicans, this is what Democrats in these representative cities should be doing.
This is something that both Republicans and Democrats should be doing for the American people. This is what any New Yorker would want to see done. I mean, the crime rate in these cities are astronomical, especially since the pandemic. And a lot of these cities that are Democratic cities just continue to welcome the crime by busing in and allowing illegal immigrants to live for free in hotels. It's got to stop. Incoming border czar Tom Homan said this about the cost, not just the human toll, but the cost of the administration's border plans. Watch.
Congress needs to fund this deportation operation. They need to understand, yeah, it's going to be expensive in the beginning, but in the long run, it's going to save billions of dollars of taxpayers' money. We are talking about the biggest national security vulnerability this country has. $86 billion is a start. We need at least that to do this operation.
So $86 billion from Congress. You know, obviously, that the Democrats are going to argue against that. There's an opinion piece which argues that there should not be a price tag for border security, saying, quote, securing the border will cost money, but leaving it open will be far more expensive. U.S. taxpayers were on the hook for over $150 billion to support illegal aliens in 2023, according to a new report from the Department of Government Efficiency. Democrats have no leg to stand on when it comes to overspending, because, I mean, the trillions of dollars that this country is in debt on absolute pork BS. I mean, that this administration has spent money on. This is the future. And the money, you can't put a dollar or a price tag on women and children that are being abused daily and killed.
Yeah, you're seeing sex trafficking, you're seeing human trafficking, you're seeing drug trafficking, gang violence, and they're trying to put a price tag on it. But listen to Governor Newsom. Do they have that much money that can actually now just give it away to people who are here illegally? And what do they think that effect is? You're incentivizing people now to come into your cities, into your country, into neighborhoods. And committing these crimes. You're incentivizing. If they have that much money, then they don't need to receive it from the federal government. And I'll tell you, I put a bill down that if you are a sanctuary city and you're not doing your best to be able to protect your citizens, you should not be getting congressionally delegated funds. So I have introduced that bill. We'll see how much Democrat support it gets. But absolutely, we have a $36 trillion budget. We have seen hundreds of thousands of people who have been killed as a result of fentanyl deaths, because you've got all of this stuff coming in over our borders. And they are spending, Rand Paul just came out with his Festivus list of government waste of $1 trillion is what he's estimating it at. And we are sending millions and millions and millions of dollars to other countries to protect their borders. So obviously Democrats are supporting that spend. They're recognizing the fact that you need it in other countries, but they don't respect it in our own country.
They don't deserve to be reelected. And I think it's time that the American people actually speak up, because this is not going to win elections. It's not going to win over the American people. I want to switch gears here for a second here. President-elect Trump's Department of Government Efficiency is also already facing pushback from the Biden administration and Democratic lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Co-chairs Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy say the goal here is to slash billions in federal spending. Now, some of their priorities include deleting the IRS, ending the Federal Reserve, and ending remote work, privatizing the mail service, among other things. And while the agency could face challenges on Capitol Hill, of course, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul says he's hopeful for this new agency. Listen.
Ultimately, it takes Congress. Congress has to get rid of the spending. DOGE can point out the spending problems and the waste the same way I've been pointing it out. But the reason it's not eliminated is they don't have the votes to get rid of the spending. So I am very hopeful that DOGE will draw attention to this.
What do you make of this? I mean, obviously cuts need to be made, and you need to make those cuts in order to be able to afford other things. But I love the idea of making people go to work. Gee, what a concept.
Yeah. Look, I was part of the Trump administration's first go-around. I worked at HUD, and they had 3-day-a-week telework. This is way before COVID ever hit. There were people in that office I never met because they figured out how to either take their 2 days off that they're supposed to be in their office, either on vacation or, at an event or something like that. But literally, how do you build a team when you don't have people coming to work? Not to mention the waste that we spend on leases. You could shoot a cannon through many of these federal buildings and never touch a single soul because they're empty, and yet we're having to spend all that money on leases every year. There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. You start looking at the COVID dollars and how they were, fraudulently accepted and taken. There's a lot of waste, and I can't imagine anybody defending the waste. Why would you spend billions of dollars on lease money for buildings that are empty? Who does that help? It doesn't help the American citizens. It just continues to take tax dollars and divert them away from programs that we actually do need to programs that are a waste. So I'm hopeful. I've talked about regulations and cutting them for years now. I've always said it's not going to be sexy, it's not going to be exciting, and it's never going to make a headline. Boy, was I wrong. You put you put people like Vivek and you put people like Elon Musk in charge of it, and that's exactly what happens. But I'm optimistic. And I think once these Democrats actually start seeing these are the programs that are on the line, it will not affect your residents except in a positive manner.
Right.
You know, government will run more efficiently. It will be more effective. Those are positive things that we should all be for. And I'm supportive of this effort. I'm part of the DOGE caucus.
Yep.
I've gone to the meetings with Ilan and Vivek, and what they're saying needs to be said. And I'm excited to be able to take some of the ideas that they say and put it into bill. Put it into appropriations.
I have to say, I'm very much looking forward to the change that's coming around the corner. Thank you very much, Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. Thank you. Great to see you, and happy holidays.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.